Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and today I will tell you the real reason why Games Workshop used Mark VI Marines for the Horus Heresy. But first of all, let's have an overview of Mark VI Armour. So Mark VI Armour is the latest armor in development by the Mechanicum pre-Heresy. It was tested by Iron Warriors, Salamanders, Raven Guard, and Iron Hands, I believe, and it went into production at the dawn of the Heresy. That's what the new law says. And that's pretty much the reason why Games Workshop is changing the law to make it fit better with Mark VI armor. Now, let's look at the models. So, the models for the Mark VI armor, they look fine. I like the tacticals. Obviously, they are new proportionate. They have new proportions, obviously, as you would expect from new models. New models from Games Workshop are always bigger, so they can ask more for them. More money, in this case, which is fine. It's no problem. If the models are better, then they will be cheaper, I guess. Anyway, because they are now in plastic and not in resin. When you remember, if you wanted to have a Mark VI tactical squad before, you would have to pay around 90 euros for 10. And I guess those 10 will cost around 45. How much, whatever a Chaos Space Marine squad or an Intercessor squad is, they will cost, I believe. Maybe they are cheaper, who knows, but I guess they will be in the same price segment. But now you say, well, Antioch, the Mark VI armor wasn't around at Istvan 3 and Istvan 5. How can I reenact those battles with Mark VI armor? Well, sir, I have a good tip for you. There is Mark III and Mark IV models still on sale by GW. They might be a bit smaller and a bit thinner than the Mark VI armor, but when you are putting them on the table and you are 3 or 4 feet away from them, you won't notice any difference that's huge. So maybe just buy Mark III and Mark IV. The box set is made for the Siege of Terra. They have the storyline has progressed to the Siege of Terra now, and they wanna have Siege of Terra armies. And that means that the units likely have some Mark 6. Does this mean they want to retcon Mark 2 to 5 out of the Heresy? No, it doesn't. Mark 6 fits the uh, the the bill here for multiple reasons. One of these reasons is it's a throwback to the original Horus Heresy, where everyone wore a beaky armor, because the Warhammer at that point wasn't very developed and there wasn't different armor marks. Power armor was just power armor, and it looked like the RTB-01 kit, which is also a reason why they did this as an homage to RTB-01, the first Space Marine kit ever. The Space Marines of the Horus Heresy, maybe not all were wearing Mark VI, or there wasn't even many Mark VI Marines during the Horus Heresy, from the beginning to the middle, but at the end, it's just feasible that this armor is the most common armor, because first of all, they changed the law to fit it, and secondly, it was the easiest to manufacture and it was the easiest to fit with other armor marks, so you didn't need to really modify the armor much to use other parts on it And this is actually not new law, this is old law, and that's why Mark 6 turned into Mark 7 at the very, very end of the heresy. While I can understand that people are mad that it's Mark 6, or, well, not really, I can't really understand, because in my opinion, Mark 6 is totally fine. I understand when some people have some gripes with it. For example, they could have used an armor like Mark II, or Mark III, or Mark IV, or Mark V. This is true. This is not wrong. This is the right. This is an opinion you could have. It's even my opinion. But to all those people who say, "Oh, Mark II is so much more heresy," no, it's not. We know that Mark II was the first power armor, and by the outbreak of the heresy, the first power armor for Space Marines that was environmentally sealed, and we know that by the time of the heresy, the Mark II armor mark is ancient. So you would rather have Mark IV and Mark III Marines in the Horus Heresy than Mark II. Oh, now you say, well, in Warhammer 40k, they use 10,000-year-old power armor. Yes, that's right, but during the time of the heresy and the prelude of the heresy, the the Space Marines, excuse me, the Space Marines were getting new armor and new bolters very rapidly because humanity was recovering from the Age of Darkness, or from the Age of Strife rather, and they would uncover more technology and would come up with better power armor suits very quickly. I think it's realistic to assume that there's way more Mark III suits in the galaxy than there is Mark II. And I can't remember someone having an outrage when they retconned that Mark II armor could move its head, or like move its head in armor, because the original Mark II armor couldn't do that. I think I'm not saying, oh well, GW releases something, you have to be grateful. In my opinion, there would have been a better armor with Mark V for the Horus Heresy, because during the Heresy, and if you have read the books, you could definitely say that Mark V was way more common. But I believe the problem with Mark V is with which Mark V would you go? Would you go with the Mark V that has the production pattern? That's the Mark V suits we see as models in resin, and hopefully soon in plastic. Or would you go with the Mark V, which is just a amalgamation of all the armor suits? This is another problem which you would have with Mark V. So now I've talked about the tacticals and a little bit uh, about the armor suits in general. I think the tacticals are fine. I'm not mad, not at all. With the Praetor, or the Praetors, I would say, the loyalist one, you can use him as whatever. I think the head crest is a bit funky, but that's it. I would probably replace the helmet. And it's not looking that much like Mark 6. It has armor, it has trim on the shoulders, it has trim on the boots or whatever. I think the sword is a little long, but then again, Astartes are known to use comically long weapons or large weapons. Overall, I think, yeah, the Praetor's fine. I would probably replace the head because the crest looks a bit funny to me, but you can just put any upgrade head of every model probably on it, and it will look fine. The Traitor one, in my opinion, looks way better. I like the Traitor one better, and I like it better because it has a two-handed axe, or it's at least he's holding the Paragon blade two-handed. And there isn't many Space Marines with that pose, so you can basically replace it with any other weapon like a glaive or something that's traditionally a two-handed weapon, and so that's pretty awesome. I would also like to say that I have, as I said, my opinion. I think another Heresy armor probably would be better, but I'm not mad at the Mark 6. I will use Mark 6 for my White Scars. I intended to do that anyway, so for me that's like a plus, that I don't have to buy expensive resin models, but rather can just buy the box set and have most of my Tactical Marines set for life. Anyway, that's been it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you are not mad at the snark I had during the video at one point. Um, thank you all for listening. Have a good one. Keep the heresy train rolling. Don't forget to join the Discord for further discussion. Stay healthy. Bye bye.